So I originally had wanted to direct my own full-length play through our student showcase in the Black Box Theater, and the play that I had chosen they found was somewhat ambitious, so I was invited to join Professor John Garrity as a co-director, and we would take my play and move it onto the main stage. So my project was to co-direct the play alongside John Garrity for the Providence College Department of Theater, Dance, and Film for this season. And essentially, my job was to engage the text, go over the play script, and then, based on what I found in the text, envision a production, bring together a creative team of designers, technicians, actors, and artists, and together we were supposed to bring one unified vision for what we thought this play was and then communicate it to a live audience. This process began primarily with me just by myself reading the script, and I spent most of the summer doing that, and every once in a while I would check in with John Garrity. We would have meetings, and we'd talk about things that we found with the script, interesting interpretations, objectives we found were important, how we thought the story progressed. And I think that this was an interesting opportunity just because normally a director is working by himself, and this really forced me to be accountable to him and vice versa for staying true to what we thought the story was about, and really keeping a vision that wasn't just unified but also communicate all of the important things about the play. Soon after, we brought in a creative team of designers for scenic lights, costumes. We also brought in a voice specialist, a fight choreographer. So there were a number of creative design elements and aspects that we brought together to make this unified vision. And shortly after a number of meetings, both originally working with design research, ideas for what we thought a cave looked like, how that could translate into what our cave looks like. Is it a literal cave? What does it need to be to communicate this story? From there, we went on from research to determining how it would actually be brought up, and design meetings became production meetings, and we'd bring in all the technical staff from the department and try and figure out just how to put this all together, not just conceptually, but in a way that it's actually going to play on stage. Shortly after that, we auditioned students, and then we built together a cast, and we rehearsed with them. It began with a reading, much like my own research, and we worked with them to find out what we thought was important specifically for their characters, what we need to communicate, how their individual stories as characters develop and progress throughout the story of the play. And then we would move on to stage and blocking, and we learned how movement informs character and character informs movement. And we rehearsed for 6 weeks. After that period of 6 weeks, we went into tech rehearsals where our design team, now that we had everything together, would bring all their elements into what I had worked on with blocking with John and all the actors. And this was our chance to bring everything together to see what the production would look like as a whole. We rehearsed like that for a week, and then it was time to present the show. And we ran for 2 weekends. And that's essentially what the process for directing was. I'm excited to be able to exhibit this project in the celebration because one of the first things is this is the first time a student's had the opportunity to direct on the main stage. And I think just learning the kind of scope that this project entails. Normally when we're involved in productions like this, it's either on crew or as actors, and we know all the pieces that go into putting together a play, but once I was kind of held responsible with making decisions and everyone checking in on me, I really came to understand just how many pieces come together and how many gears have to fit in order to reach the production that an audience gets to see on opening night.